How's it going, boys and girls? I am Kris Keefer, and welcome to another edition of the Racer X Garage Build. And today we have a 2022 KTM 450 SXF. Man, I can't believe the 22 is already out. But since it hasn't changed much, the 450 that is, I thought, why not build a bike that I would want to ride myself? If I'm going to go purchase a KTM 450 SXF, hey Keefer, what do you do to your bike? So I thought, why not build a garage build on things that I would do personally? So this is what I did. 2022 KTM 450, put those mods that I choose on this bike, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about them right now. All right, so most of the time when you guys watch these garage builds, they're eccentric. Lots of bling, lots of graphics, lots of just shiny parts. Well, I wanted to keep this minimal, so to speak. The overall dollar amount isn't minimal, but if you guys look at it, I'm not a huge graphic guy. I'm not a huge number guy. I put numbers on here for the haters on the YouTube comments going to be like, it doesn't run numbers, blah, blah, blah. I really don't care. I like to have a nice bike that works well on the track. So with this KTM 450 SXF, it already has a great platform. It's one of the best 450s to ride. I say this to you guys all the time. If you guys are worried about 450 power, this is the easiest, most manageable 450 power plant there is. So I want to massage that a little bit. I want to get a little bit more out of it, still create a rideable and fun experience for me. Because look, let's face it, I'm getting older. I'm not in the best shape at times, and I want to be able to ride as long as I can when I'm out here at the track. We're out here at Paris Raceway, California today. So what we did, we brought it out here, and to go over the bike, purely stock. What I like about the 2022 bike, it has an orange frame. That's beautiful. KTM should leave that stock all the time. It just looks great. So I'm going to start with the chassis. What do I do to get a little more compliancy? And that's the thing about this KTM. If you're coming off of a Japanese bike, what you'll notice is a lot of vibration. Man, when I ride a Honda, Yamaha, even a Kawasaki, I jump on a KTM or even a Husqvarna, I get a lot of vibration. So I start out simply getting some Pro Taper bars. This bar is coming out in the fall. This is a little bit of a tidbit for you guys. There's going to be a bend that's coming out from Pro Taper. It's called Race Bend. The Race Bend is more like a 996 bend, so very neutral, easy to get over the front of the bike, so I like that bar. So Pro Taper makes an Evo cross barless bar. It dampens the vibration, gives you a little bit more comfort, and gets rid of those neck-in stiff bars that come stock. I do not like that. I put on Renthal half waffle soft grips. Man, it's old school. I like that. It's best on my hands. You guys can choose waffle, no waffle, but I go with Renthal half waffle soft. And then, of course, something that I don't talk about much is throttle tubes. You're like, whatever, I use my plastic throttle tube. But in the KTM world, these throttle cables, they don't last very long, 20 hours minimum. So you have a nice feeling throttle, plastic, ODI lock-ons, but then over time it just gets hard and crusty. You take it off and clean it, still doesn't feel the same. Well, the ZRT aluminum throttle is like butter. It's insane how easy it is to pull, and it stays that way over a long period of time. Not to mention it is very strong. You can buy one of these throttle tubes and it'll last you over the course of 2 to 3 years, so that is important to me. I went ahead and put these triple clamps on. It's the KTM Factory Edition triple clamp. That'll get you more front-end comfort, a little bit more front-end bite, a little bit more front-end feel, leaning in the corners. So for me, these split clamps are important. I put that on this bike. All right, let's move on to the suspension. What is a KTM 450 SXF without spring forks? It's a whole new machine. The air fork technology that WP has come a long way, but there is nothing like a set of cone valve forks. Mark over at REP has these things down so well. Like for me, having a set of what they call the Pro components, WP Pro components, Trax shock, and then this cone valve fork, it makes the bike more rideable. You can push it, you get less pitching, I get more comfort, and probably the most important to me, the longevity of how this bike remains the same over a course of a moto. This fork doesn't change, it has a lot of dampening feel, and Mark has a lot of unique settings that he's experimented with over time, and for me, it changes the whole character of the machine. It's better planted, and as well, I like to steer off the front end, so this spring fork has helped. So REP does a great job with Pro components, as well as a Trax shock. So the dual adjuster right here on the side, you guys can see this because Spencer will have a close-up on the shock, but what you'll get is less fade, more dampening, and less pitching from, I guess when I'm on the throttle, I don't want this thing to squat. I feel like a KTM 450 squats a lot under throttle. I don't like that. This Trax shock, this Pro Component shock, does help that. So less pitching on throttle, less pitching off throttle. This suspension is very key to this machine. All right, so let's move on this engine. I love the engine character stock on this bike, but I just wish it just had a little bit more pickup, a little bit more recovery. So two things, Fmf Muffler System as well as a Vortex ECU mapped by Chad at XPR Motorsports. So Chad and I have a lot of experience together mapping these Vortexes, and I always talk about the ECU and how important it is. Putting this Vortex on, it changes the character of the bike. It gives you more excitement down low, yet keeps the controllability of the stock character. That's what I like. So I have a little bit more RPM response, a little bit more recovery. Second gear is longer. I can leave it stretched out longer per, like corner to corner. But if I want to lug it and shift early, this ECU helps me recover and pick that up in a hurry. So a little bit of a fan of the clutch, and it's back in the meat. Really nice. As well as an Fmf 4.1 complete system. This will give you a little bit more mid-range and top end. And I'm going to sit here and tell you guys right now, the KTM stock muffler system is a very good muffler system, but Fmf has developed with the KTM R&D team, they work hand in hand together and developed a really good muffler. So if you guys are deciding you want a little less weight, you want to drop some weight and get a little bit more mid-range to top-end power, this Fmf 4.1 system does it. All right, so that wraps it up for this KTM 450 SXF garage build. Like I said, doesn't really look like a blingy motorcycle, but it's the small things that matter to me. I want my bike to work. I honestly think this bike looks good in stock form. So suspension, ECU, throttle tube, muffler, got some good Dunlop tires on here, as well as this triple clamp. That's all you need on this bike. It's a very good, well-balanced machine once this is on, and it's a blast to ride. So my garage build, I think it looks pretty cool. Hopefully you guys like it too. If you guys have any other questions, you can hit me up, Kris at KeeferInkTesting.com. And of course, check out RacerXOnline.com for more videos. We have a garage build one time a month, which are usually pretty cool. We have some really cool, unique garage builds coming up down the pipe, so stay tuned to that. And of course, you guys want to read? Wow, let's have some print material at home on the coffee table. It's amazing. 12 issues, 30 bucks. Get yourself quality information that you can't get on our digital website, as well Ethica underwear. Free set, 30 bucks. Awesome deal. See you guys in the next go around. Hasta.